Assalamu alaikum. Kojo here, coming to you live from outside of Boston Latin Academy, which is now currently located in the old Technical High School building. So that can only mean one thing. It's story time. Now this story, strangely enough, is about school in Boston. Boston was known for having neighborhood schools. For example, there was Dorchester High, there was Brighton High, there was South Boston High, and like this. But there were three exam schools that all parents wished that their kids could take the exam and be smart enough to get into. One of them was Boston Latin Academy, my alma mater. The other was Boston Latin School, which is the oldest public high school in America. And the third was Technical High School. And technically, to be honest, Technical High School was actually the consolation prize. It was like going on Price is Right, not winning the showcase, but winning a year's supply of plain Cheerios. Sorry to all you people who graduated from Technical High School. So the student body of these three schools were made up of kids all from all of Boston's neighborhoods, the hood and the not so hood. So, we kids who went there, we had basically 4 or 5 meters. There was the smarts meter, there was the coolness meter, there was the nerd meter, there was the street smarts meter, and there was also the kindness meter. Now, subhanAllah, my friends and I, in Boston Latin Academy, the best of the best of the best, mashallah, we had a 10 on the cool meter, a 10 on the smarts meter, our nerd meter was a flat line 0, and the kindness meter was a 10, and the street smarts meter was also a 10. But there were kids who weren't so much like that. Now, our schools at that time were located in the Fenway area. Actually, Boston Latin Academy was located directly across from Fenway Park. So, and the other school was located in the Longwood Medical area. So I had friends in both schools, friends at Latin school. So after school, we would meet up usually in the Fins, which was a park between us. We played basketball. But sometimes me and my crew after school, we would walk over to Latin school and we would just, meet up with our friends there. Now in their group, like I said, we all had a 10 on the kindness meter, so we didn't discriminate. So they had one kid who hung out around them, amongst them, and his coolness meter was a 0. His smarts meter was a 10, but his nerd meter was also a 10. Street smarts, not sure where it was because, I didn't hang out with him, in the neighborhoods. But yeah, so for example, if we was like say something like, yo, that's funky fresh, this kid would say, yeah, I agree. It's fresh and funky. This type of kid. Now I would bump into this kid a lot because he also worked with one of my friends from Latin Academy. So when I would go to his job to hang out with him, he would say, Kojo, I'm telling you, this kid is a pathological liar. I was like, a pathological liar? I didn't know much about that. I knew the character on Saturday Night Live, John Lovitz, the guy, my girlfriend, Morgan Fairchild, that guy, the pathological liar. But, this kid, I never saw that from him. He was pretty much on the up and up with me. So let's fast forward a little bit to 10 years after we graduated from high school, the year 2000. I'm working in the lab as a scientist. That's what I do for a living. I'm a scientist. And, this one of my coworkers, she looked very distraught. So I asked her, I said, are you okay? What's wrong? She said, no, I'm not okay. And she told me the most insane story. So brace yourselves, because this is heavy. She said her uncle was working on a ladder. He slipped, the ladder kicked out from under him. His beard got caught in the gutter and his face got ripped off. That's right, his face got ripped off and had to be surgically repaired. So she told me this. I was like, gosh, why did I ask her how she was doing this day? I was shook. That's all I could think about. So after work, I hopped on the train, and I'm on my way home and I'm just thinking about this. And I really wish I had someone to talk to. At downtown crossing, this kid who I haven't seen for 10 years, the one who they call the pathological liar, hopped on the train. He was like, hey, what up, Kojo? I was like, yo, what up, kid? I don't want to give his name. So, I was just like, I started pouring on my heart. I was like, today at work, this lady, she told me the crazy story. Her uncle, ladder, face torn off, surgical repaired, and he listened attentively. Or however you say it, he just listened, he showed compassion, but when I finished telling the story, and I'm distraught, you know what he said to me? Oh, word? Same thing happened to my boy. And at that point, I knew what it meant to be a pathological liar. I hope you enjoy this story, and remember, I have many more. Assalamu alaikum.